You know, when most of us hear the word pranayama, we immediately think of breathing exercises, right? But what if that's not even half the story? Today we're going to dive deep into the ancient Yoga Sutras of Patanjali to uncover what this practice really is all about. So let's get into it.
So let's just start right there with that big question. Is pranayama really just about breathing techniques? That's what we're often taught. But what if we're only scratching the surface? What if it's about something way more fundamental to our being?
Well, the clue is hiding right there in the name itself. Pranayama actually breaks down into two Sanskrit words. First, you've got prana. Now, this isn't just breath, it's that vital life energy, the force that animates everything. And then there's ayama, which means to control, to regulate, or even to expand. So put them together, and pranayama is really about managing and expanding our life force. And our breath is the primary tool we use to do it.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. You'd think a practice all about breath would start with, well, breathing. But nope. Patanjali says we have to start somewhere else entirely, with the body. Specifically, with finding a stable and comfortable posture.
And he's super clear about this in Sutra 249. He literally says, after this has been mastered, and he's talking about your physical posture, your asana. Only after you've got that down can you even think about starting pranayama. This isn't a friendly suggestion, it's a strict prerequisite. You have to master your posture first.
And when you stop and think about it, this makes total sense, doesn't it? I mean, if you're fidgeting, if your back is aching, or you just can't sit still, how on earth are you supposed to focus on something as subtle as your energy? Your mind is just going to be distracted. The whole goal is to get your body so steady and comfortable that you can essentially forget it exists. It becomes this solid foundation for the real, subtle work. Because let's face it, a restless body means a restless mind. And that for sure means a restless breath.
All right, so once you've got that stable seat, now we can get to the heart of pranayama. And according to Patanjali, it's way more than just breathing slowly. It's about a very specific, very conscious action, interrupting the natural, automatic flow of your breath.
The key Sanskrit term here is gati vichedaha. Gati means movement or flow, and vichedaha means to cut, to pause, or to interrupt. So at its very core, pranayama is about deliberately stepping in and pausing the autopilot of your breathing. You're taking manual control of something that just runs in the background all day long.
And this is where you really see that incredible link between our breath and our mind. By consciously creating these pauses, we're not just messing with air, we're directly influencing our prana, our life energy, and that has an immediate effect on our mental state. You know the saying, calm breath, calm mind? Well, this pause, this interruption, that's the secret sauce.
Now hold on. The word interruption can sound a little intense, right? And it is incredibly important that we get this right for a safe practice, because this one idea actually splits into two very different paths, one for beginners and a totally different one for more advanced practitioners.
So, if you're a beginner, interruption does not mean holding your breath until you turn blue. Not at all. It simply means slowing the whole process down, making your breath longer, finer, more deliberate. It's all about smoothing out the transitions, no forced holds. Now, for advanced yogis, it can become Kumbhaka, which is that intentional holding of the breath. But that's a whole different ballgame. It's powerful, and you absolutely need proper guidance because you can actually do harm if it's done wrong. So the main takeaway for most of us, just start by slowing it all down.
Okay, so after you get the hang of actively regulating your breath, Patanjali introduces something even more profound, even more subtle. It's a state that's actually beyond any technique you can do. He calls it the fourth state of pranayama. So, what on earth could that be?
Think about it. We've got the inhale, that's 1. The exhale, that's 2. And the conscious pause we create, that's 3. So what is this mysterious fourth state? Here's the kicker. It's not another thing you practice. It's a state that just arises.
This state is called Kevala Kumbhaka. It's a completely spontaneous pause in your breath. Imagine your breathing becoming so quiet, so subtle, that it feels like it just stops, all on its own. You're not forcing it. You're not even trying. It's a natural state of deep, profound stillness that happens as your practice matures and your mind becomes incredibly calm.
There's this beautiful metaphor that just captures it perfectly. The inhale, the exhale, and those active holds you practice. They're like the waves on the surface of the ocean. There's constant movement. But Kevala Kumbhaka, the fourth state, is like diving deep, deep down beneath all that activity into the vast, silent stillness of the ocean itself. It's a state of pure inner peace.
So after all of this, mastering the posture, regulating the breath,
touching the state of profound stillness. What's the ultimate point? Why do we do any of it? Well, Patanjali gives us a very clear and powerful answer.
In Sutra 2.52, he explains that pranayama removes the avaranam. You can think of this as a veil of mental clutter, of ignorance and distraction that covers up our prakasha, our own inner light, our innate wisdom. The whole practice is about lifting that veil, clearing away the fog so our true nature can finally shine through.
So you see, the path is perfectly logical. First, you stabilize the body so it stops being a distraction. Then, you use that stability to regulate your breath and your energy. This regulation naturally brings the mind into a state of profound stillness, and that calm, clear, and still mind is now finally ready for the next stage of yoga, true deep concentration, or what's known as Dharana.
And this brings everything right back to you, here and now. This ancient wisdom isn't just philosophy, it's a practical tool for self-awareness. So just take a moment. Check in with your own breath, right now. Is it fast, shallow, maybe a little erratic? Or is it slow, deep, and calm? Patanjali teaches us that our breath is a perfect mirror of our mind. What is your breath telling you?